So tell me about yourself.
So I'm a sophomore at MRH High School. I'm a thespian and student athlete, and I'm in the school's troupe. I was recently in the school play. I'm really interested in different art forms, but specifically baking, which is why I'm interviewing here. But yeah, I was recently in the fall play, and that was really exciting for me, and hopefully for that we get chosen for state. So yeah, a lot of very creative, hardworking, and I really just have a desire to succeed in what I do.
So when was one time you had to ask for help?
Um, so one time I had to ask for help was I had COVID and I was like really sick, but I don't think most of my teachers knew that. They just knew I had COVID. So I asked one of my teachers for an extension, and he gave me literally 12 more hours than I already had for like a large assignment that I hadn't started. So I had to like email him again being like, hey, I know I asked for an extension, but can I have like a week extension? Cause I don't have time. And he said, he like waited 3 hours and then was finally like, okay. So it kind of made me realize that it's okay to like ask for more help than I've been offered. And it's really not that big of a deal. Just try to communicate what you need and how important that is. Yeah.
It's good.
That's all.
Alexia, it's getting in the way. Can you talk about me? All day? Probably. All right.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
And then for the second question, are you good too?
Yeah.
Every time you ask for help. Okay. So tell me about yourself.
I am a varsity athlete, and in wrestling, I also throw for track on JV. I have previous job experience in the restaurant industry as a busser and dishwasher, and I am a junior in high school, and I have taken all of my required credited classes up until this point, and I'm working on finishing them off this year for to be nice and have a clean slate for senior year, so I can get that capstone out of the way and maybe graduate a little early.
Very cool. So what's the time that you had to ask for help, and what's the lesson that you learned from that?
Well, it was late at night in the dish pit, and the chef kept on yelling at me because at my job, it's a very stressful job. The restaurant industry is kind of known for that. So everybody was yelling at me, even though I didn't really do anything. But I had to ask the chef for help because there was these long metal baking sheets, and I was washing them one by one. And I was just when he came over to yell at me again, I actually asked this time, well, how can I do better? Instead of just going, all right, thanks, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he showed me this technique where you get the sanitizer, the foamy sanitizer in the water, and you rinse it out in the hot water and scrub it, put in the foamy sanitizer, and then rinse it off, the foam stuff, with the clear hand sanitizer, and put it away. And then that got things done way quicker and way more efficient.
Very cool. Thank you.
Focus. Okay, tell me about yourself.
My name is Jonah Grauer. I'm a student athlete at Maplewood Richmond Heights High School, and I want to pursue my athletic career going on to the future in college.
Okay.
In college, I want to major in something that is going to allow me to engage and do a lot more than just sitting down and doing the same thing every day. Something like being a pilot interests me because it involves just that. I run track here and I play basketball, and I have a lot of interests outside of that, and most of those interests involve creativity, which is what I think is a word that describes me.
Okay, anything else?
I am a debater, which means that I break rules a lot, which I think is good because it means that I can do things my own way, but also get things done really fast.
Okay, and when's the time that you had a problem that you needed solved?
I had a problem I needed solved. As I said earlier, I'm a track athlete. I used to be very unexplosive and slow moving, so I have a coach here named Coach Smith who texted me one day saying, you need help with that, because I told him about it. He was like, I'll help you out. So we met up at a park and we worked for a couple hours, and that ended up being a routine that we did a couple times, and I got a lot more explosive and my times went down, and I ended up getting a state medal that year, all because of that.
Sick. We're good.
All right, tell me about yourself.
I am a student athlete at Maplewood Richmond Heights High School. I play volleyball and also soccer, but volleyball is my main sport. I am considering careers in psychology and nursing, and nursing is my main one, and I want to be a nurse anesthesiologist. And I am the type of person who likes to be very organized and has to have a plan for everything, especially my future. My future is my most important thing to me, and I think about that quite often. I would say that I'm the type of person that is very optimistic about things. I like to see the brighter side of things even when things go wrong.
Anything else?
That's all.
When was the time that you had a question and you asked somebody else for help?
In our first part of our intro unit, I didn't know who to interview for nurse anesthesiology, and Mr. Sassel connected me with his sister's friend, I think it was, to interview her, and she actually ended up helping me out a lot, and she helped me actually connect with some of her friends in the hospital that told me a lot of stuff that I need to know.
Anything else?
Nope.
So, what is one thing that you had to do to ask for help?
Me, usually, I don't really ask for help like that. But like, I remember one time I was in the gym shooting around, and Keyshawn Norman, you know, one of my players on my basketball team, I would ask for him to teach me how to shoot and dribble better and stuff, you know, learn the fundamentals of basketball. And luckily, he was nice enough to help me out, and the outcome to that was that I got a little bit better with finishing, dribbling, passing, playing defense and stuff, thanks to Keyshawn and him helping me out that day.
Okay, why do you want this job?
I want this job because I feel like it's a good fit for me. I'm really a good hands-on learner. I'm creative and I'm a hard worker, so I feel like I'm not only learning from you guys, but you guys can learn from me and figure out like what I can do in the field and how I can help you guys out.
Okay. That's it. Jasmine.
Yeah. So, what is one important thing you've learned in your life so far?
One important thing that I've learned in my life so far, I think that would have to be, I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Don't rush things, I guess. Take time with a lot of things. If you will like a lot of things, you will want to have a lot of things. But if you rush into it, you're either going to get them and not do it right, or like it just won't end up right, or it's just, I don't know.
All right. What is one time in your life where you've had to ask for help?
One time, so I didn't show up for school for like a week straight, and so I came back, I was completely confused, and I asked one of my classmates, like, an intro to internship for help, and she helped me. She gave me the assignment, she gave me her assignment to look off of as like a reference and shit and stuff like that, so.
So, let's see. Why do you want this job?
I want this job because I feel like it can give me a leg up into where I want to be in my life. I want to be financially stable, independent, and successful, and I feel like this job will get me there in more ways than one by helping me with milestone markers, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's all the questions I have for you today. So.
Okay.